So
Please.
5 years ago, when we said like blockchain, it was like, whoa, this is like, gambling. This is scam, like super risk, like, no, like it was like that. Yeah. So now it has improved. I mean, not so much, but people, for example, now they're familiar. They know that they can transfer money. For example, for cross-border payments, they can use cryptocurrencies. Now they know that.
Hello and welcome, dear listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Sergey Kiklevich, and you are witnessing another episode of On-Chain Attention Podcast. Today, I have an exciting company called CoiMex, who are impacting the global trade and logistics. Yes, not your typical profile in our podcast, and I'm very excited for that reason, because they fall into the category of real-world assets. Now, this company, from supply chain optimization to blockchain innovation, really are reshaping the future of how physical goods move worldwide. Let's dive in. Today we have an honored guest, Onur Kutlu Gago. He is the deputy CEO and a co-founder. He is a seasoned entrepreneur with an extensive background and career as a software architect and also deep experience in the Silicon Valley. Onur, welcome to the podcast. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sergey. My name is Onur. And thank you for inviting us. It's great to be here. It's great to join the show. So, like you said, you introduced very well. So I'm one of the co-founders of CoiMex, and we are here to change the international trade. So let's begin.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your company. Tell us a little bit about the background story of how you ended up being with it, with the project. And how the whole blockchain aspect of the company plugs into the story.
Sure. So actually, this story is interesting. So CoiMex, let me start with the name. Okay. So the name CoiMex comes from chain of importers and exporters. And so the chain, so the whole thing started as a blockchain project, actually. So our founder CEO Selahattin, so he came up with the idea during his studies in Harvard University. So he was doing executive MBA program over there. So he has like a 3-generation international trade experience, right? So they're into the nuts business for international trade, like walnuts, almonds, commodities, food commodities. So during his studies, it was a Harvard MBA project. So they saw this problem in international trade, a huge trust problem when it comes to, connecting reliable buyers and sellers. And also when it comes to the finances, payments and financing part of it. So blockchain can provide a lot of cool solutions. So it all started as a project, a university project. So after that, Selahattin founded the company in the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So and in the year of 2020, when I met Selahattin, and that's also an interesting story because I was giving a public speech about my previous startup. Back during that time, it was the end of the previous startup. So I was giving a speech about it. So Selahattin came to listen to me. And during the break, we met. He asked a few questions. Then he told me about, CoiMex and the vision. So I fell in love with the idea. And then within a few months, I decided to join as a co-founder. Wow. So since then, we are together. That's the founding story of CoiMex, actually. And it's all about solving the trust issues in the international trade space.
I love it. Speaking of trust issues, when we look at the Web3 space, as we refer to it, all kinds of blockchain projects, it is a common recurrence that different types of projects using this technology are looking to solve trust, facilitate, speed of transactions, and I think that applies to the story as well. If you may tell us a little bit more about now the solution itself, right? So you're solving the trust issue. How?
Sure. So again, this is 2020, right? So CoiMex started as a blockchain project when I first joined the company, and we started talking to the SMBs. So our target segment is the small to medium sized enterprises, right? And in the developing part of the world, right now, currently we operate in 108 countries around the world, from Africa to Middle East to Eastern Europe to Asia, Central Asia, South Asia, and South America. Those are the regions we operate. And when we started CoiMex, when we started talking to these companies, SMBs, we tried first with blockchain. Okay, we said, look, we're going to change payments, finances, with blockchain technology. And because these people, rightfully, they were very skeptical and they were a little bit like scared, right? They said like, whoa, I mean, are these like scammers? What is it? What is blockchain? What's going on? This is like 5 years ago, right? So, and then we said, okay, maybe we pivot and we first build the community. Okay, build a basic platform, build the community around it, and start with the core business. Core business meaning we bring together the reliable buyers and sellers. So we work very closely with local governments in every country we operate. So we have an application process. Companies come to us, they apply for a membership, and through some background checks, like a due diligence program, we select the members. And once they join the CoiMex community, we have a built-in platform, a web application. So over there, the sellers, they can promote their products. Buyers, they can submit their buying requests. And we organize meetings, online and in-person meetings between our member companies, and to help them find a reliable customer or find a reliable supplier. This was our first core original business. And this went on for a few years until last year when we decided that the bull run was coming. We said, okay, now this is the time. So we should pivot back to our original blockchain project. And we decided to launch Exim Token and also all the utilities, the blockchain services I just mentioned in the beginning. So if I need to summarize, maybe we can get into the details, but
we will. We will. You bet.
Yeah. So in summary, over the core business, what we provide with blockchain is this: one, payments. I mean, cross-border payments between the importer and exporter. For example, we connect a Russian buyer with a Kenyan avocado seller, for example. We organize a meeting. We organize the contract, international sales contract between these two companies. And they say, okay, I'm going to make the payment through the payment blockchain payment system CoiMex provides. So this is an alternative to letters of credit, the traditional letters of credit. It's a much faster, much reliable, and a much affordable, economical solution for these two companies. So this is the core, the payment solution. And then we have like multiple financing solutions. And as well, we tokenize food commodities. Maybe we'll get into that. I know you like RWA very much. So we can get into those things. So right now we have 4 or 5 different services with blockchain technology.
See, like you basically gave us enough topics to go for the entire podcast here. And let's start from the end topic you brought up, the tokenization of the actual goods, because I think a lot of people out there and a lot of our viewers and listeners don't quite grasp this well yet. So what does it look like in real life? Give us some examples of how you're tokenizing these goods, and why is it a favorable thing? Why is it a useful or a valuable or a good thing?
Sure. Let me begin. So what does tokenization mean? Okay, and when it comes to food commodities, so first of all, what kind of food commodities are we talking about? We're talking about mostly like nuts, like almonds, peanuts, cashew nuts, dried fruits like dried apricots, things like that. Okay, so we're not talking about major crops like wheat or barley or rye or things like that, because those commodities, the market, international market for those larger commodities are crazy big. Okay, it's hard to control. It's hard to tokenize the whole supply because the supply is super large. But when it comes to commodities that have a smaller market, like dried apricot, for example, or like the hazelnuts, the other types of nuts. The market is smaller, so it's easier to manage. So first of all, we tokenize this kind of commodities. So tokenization means that this. So we have licensed warehouses. For example, for the dried apricots, we have a licensed warehouse in Turkey, Malatya. Malatya is a city in Turkey where the majority of the world apricot crops are in Malatya city. So we have a licensed warehouse over there. So we collect the dried apricots from the farmers, and we keep them, we lock them in the governmental licensed warehouse. So in 500 kilo large packages. Okay, so like plastic boxes, but super large boxes. Yeah. So we lock them, and then so this is like 500 kilo huge box, right? 2 boxes makes like 1,000 kilo, one metric ton.
Yeah.
And then we turn it into 1,000 APRI tokens. So APRI is the name of the commodity token. So we have a name for each one of these commodity tokens. So we turn 1,000 kilo of real dried apricots kept in the license warehouse into 1,000 APRI tokens. Yeah. So this is how we tokenize it. So every commodity token is backed by real commodity itself.
Yeah.
And we replicate the same. For example, we have different warehouses for different commodities in different countries. So this is the model. I don't know if it answers your question.
It does, and I think you have the second part is now we have tokenized the commodity, whether it's an apricot or hazelnut or peanut. What's next? How does that play out in the actual trade and then the logistics, the supply chain?
Right. So, okay. So here we have to consider two different actors. Okay. One part, we have the companies, those importer and exporter companies. So there is a benefit for them. I mean, they can benefit from these tokenized commodities. I'm going to explain. And the second actor is the crypto investors, and they can also benefit from those tokenized commodities.
Yep.
I will also explain. So let me go back to the first one, the companies. So let's say I'm an importer. Dried apricot importer in Germany, and I'm a wholesaler. Okay, so I import dried apricots every year from Turkey, and I have my customers in Germany. So these are supermarkets. So my business goes like this: I sign an annual contract with the supermarket. So let's say this is a 24,000 kilo of dried apricot deal for 1 year, and the supermarket tells me, look, every month I want you to deliver 2 tons of dried apricots to my warehouse, right? So this is a deal signed. Normally these deals are signed right before the harvest season. So the harvest for dried apricots is in summertime, like end of July, like beginning of August. So these deals are signed, for example, in April, in March, April, June, that period. Okay, so let's say this German company signed the deal. So now traditionally what they do is this: they can take the risk. So the deal has a price, right? So the supermarket says, okay, I'm going to buy 24,000 tons of dried apricot from you. this is the per kilo or per ton price, and that's it, right? You cannot change it.
Fixed.
It's in the contract, and that's it. So the German company might decide to take the risk, and they can say, okay, I'm going to procure these dried apricots every month on a monthly basis from Turkey, but whatever the market price will be in that particular month, for example, let's say I import 4 tons in September, and then maybe another 6 tons in December, maybe another, 2 more tons in January, but who knows what the price will be in January, right?
Correct.
So I might, as a businessman, I might take that risk. I might prefer to take that risk. Or I can say, okay, once I sign the deal, because I know the price, I buy the whole thing, whole 24 tons, take it to Germany, keep it in my warehouse, and then so I take no price risk, but then I bear the cost of the warehouse, right? So
Storage.
that's traditional business. Okay, so now with the tokenized commodities, this is what they can do. So once they sign the deal, so they know the price, and they can buy the whole thing, whole 24,000 EPRI tokens. In this example, they can buy the whole 24,000 EPRI tokens right when they sign the deal. So at that price, whatever the market price is at that time. So without taking any financial risk, they can buy this 24,000 dried apricots from us, or from the token market. I mean, secondhand market, whatever. So they can buy the tokens, and then when the time comes to deliver the real good, they just give the token to the Turkish company, get the real product, and deliver to the customer. So this is a transformation in their business, so they can eliminate the price fluctuation risk. So this is the benefit for the companies. Okay, so now moving on to the second part, the crypto investor part. This is a complete different game now. So
correct,
because let's say I'm a crypto investor, and I invest in some crypto assets, right? Maybe some meme coins, maybe big Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, maybe whatever, right? So these are volatile, high risk assets, right? Correct. So I might be a person who don't want to take that much risk, or maybe in my portfolio, crypto investment portfolio, I might want to have some lower risk assets, right? So then this comes into the RWA space. Of course, our food commodity tokens are one of the alternatives, but of course they can go for other RWA tokens. Maybe they can go for real estate RWA. They can go for, I don't know what RWA, but RWA in general is a lower risk crypto investment asset. So for crypto investors, they can consider investing in those assets. And in our example, I'm going to give you one cool example from this season.
Please.
And that's with the sunflower seeds. So we call it the SUNS token, SUNS, SUNS token. So the SUNS token, it started the harvest time at a low price, like any other commodity. And within 2-3 weeks, it made 3x return. Yeah, so this is, very good. Low risk asset brings you 2-3x in 2-3 weeks. This is very good return, right? Yeah. So
that's I would use the word spectacular return. It's not just good. It's these are astronomical numbers in an investment community, right, or even trading community.
Yes. So of course sometimes it doesn't. But in the worst case, for example, the commodity prices, they don't go down. They might go maybe slightly down. For example, this year, the nuts, the peanuts, the shelled peanuts, they are not still performing as we expected or as spectacular as the sunflower seeds so far. But maybe they will in springtime. We still don't know. But still, they don't lose. It's a low risk asset. Yeah. So and it's super liquid. You can sell it instantly. So these are the benefits for the crypto investors. I hope it's clear now.
It is very clear, and that's the reason why I love the, like you said, the RWA space, the real world assets, because you have collateral. In essence, you're dealing with not a digital asset, like pure digital asset, which invites all kinds of questions, all kinds of skepticism. But when you're dealing with, there's a backup, right? For 1 unit of a digital asset, there's a 1 unit of a physical asset. So from that perspective, it's very um, just logical what you guys are doing. And I know that your main market is small to medium enterprises, and I think there's a reason for that, right? You alluded to at the beginning of the journey, there was quite a lot of skepticism. This is also COVID time, right? 2020. This is right in the middle of global economic shutdown and collapse. Can you kind of give us a bit of the recollection on dealing with some of the fears, dealing some of the skepticism, and compare it to now today, 2025? Has there been a change? Are companies are more willing and open to consider your solutions, tokenization, blockchain, as we're going to go and try it?
Sure, thank you. Okay, on the traditional side, I mean the core services I mentioned in the beginning. So for those services, now that we have more brand awareness, now CoiMex is more well known, and so now we are in 108 countries. We have more connections with governments, etc. So the company is stronger now. So of course there is less resistance. I mean, for example, we receive phone calls. Even today, I received one call. Company we met like 3 years ago, and they call us and they say, oh, we want to work with you now, la la. So this is happening because CoiMex brand name is getting more stronger. But if you ask me, if we started again today as a new brand, I believe we would face same resistance for the core services. But blockchain thing is changing. It's completely changing. So let me answer from that perspective. So Please. 5 years ago, when we said like blockchain, it was like, whoa, this is like, gambling. This is scam, like super risk, like, no, like it was like that. Yeah. So now it has improved. Not so much, but people, for example, now they're familiar. They know that they can transfer money. For example, for cross-border payments, they can use cryptocurrencies. Now they know that. Everybody knows that. Even a company in a less developed part of the world, small business owner, they know it. Yeah. So. For example, stable coins, pretty much, for example, USDT, Tether, they know it. Yes, they are not so much familiar. Maybe they still don't have an account on a crypto exchange. Maybe they have never invested in Bitcoin, for example, never bought like in anything yet, maybe, but they know, and they are more open. I just want to stress one thing here. So blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies are not the same, right? For us, of course, we know. But
correct. Yeah. The technology is way broader than the crypto aspect of this.
Right. So, but when you explain these things to importer and exporter, small business owners, for them, it's vague. They might not understand the difference very much. So we have to, deliberately, we have to say, look, we are using blockchain technology, right? So they're still afraid of crypto. For them, crypto is still like, a little bit, gambling, risky, whatever, right? But when you say like blockchain technology, this is like solid, this is pure, software technology, robust, this is cool. And they get it. So we still need to stress, look, this is blockchain technology. Sure, we use, cryptocurrencies, whatever, but the essence is blockchain technology. So we still need to say that and express it clearly.
Yeah. You alluded to something that I'm kind of curious about. As you face this maybe misconception, if I may characterize it this way, about blockchain technology and role of it in the supply chain management, what does it typically sound like from these customers? Like, what's in their minds? What did they tell you, or what's the misconception when you have to explain to them, no, this is not some token or just crypto trading thing. This is the actual technology. We use it this way, this way, this way. It helps you do it faster, safer. And they go, oh, okay, I understand. But what's their version of what you guys are doing before you explain it? What kind of examples and crazy things have you heard already in your
Yeah,
tenure?
lots of things. So for them, I mean, first of all, this. So when we say, for example, payments, cross-border payments, or financing, I'm going to talk about a little bit of our financing solutions too. But
yes,
when we say any sort of payment, firstly, they consider, these payments will be made with some cryptocurrencies which are super volatile. So they believe, I'm going to lose money. I mean, I'm going to start my deal with, I don't know, let's take, Bitcoin, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't want to say any meme coin because nobody will consider meme coins in the international trade world, but let's say Bitcoin, okay?
Bitcoin.
So
Yeah.
Bitcoin is still not a super volatile asset, but it's not a stable coin. It is a volatile asset. So they think the import-export will be made with Bitcoin. Yeah, so they say, well, I'm going to sign a deal which is, $5,000, $50,000 today, and tomorrow, because, Bitcoin fluctuates, I'm going to lose money. That's their perception. Yeah, So we tell them, look, I mean, we use stable coins. Okay, so the largest stable coin today in the world is, Tether, USDT. It is backed up. It's a strong project. It's one of the most reliable projects in the world. So we use stable coins. Stable coins are fixated. Yeah, I mean, $1, one USDT, yeah, or
Correct.
USDC, whatever. So once we explain this to them, they're like, oh, okay, now I'm relieved a little bit. Then, the next thing they say, look, how are we going to exchange this money? I mean, is it going to be through, wallet to wallet? Some they know. I mean, they have more information, right? And they had some scam issues.
Yeah.
So like fake USDT, whatever, things like that. So they say, like, how are we going to transfer? They don't know about smart contracts. For them, it's not so clear. It's some technology, and we tell them, look, CoiMex works like this. First of all, both of the companies, the buyer and seller, they're a CoiMex member, right? So they are vetted companies. They came through governmental references in both countries, in the seller country, in the buyer country, right? This is step number one. So step number two, we have an international contract. Everything is controlled by CoiMex, yes? Step number two. Step number three, when we start this deal, we help you to open an account in the largest, most reliable central crypto exchange in your country, in the buyer's country, and the largest, biggest, strongest central crypto exchange in the seller's country, right? So no wallets, no personal wallets.
Correct.
It's through the central exchange, right? So from your bank account, you send your local currency to the central exchange, you buy USDT over there, you send that USDT to our smart contract, which is an international audited, super safe smart contract. Correct. It's proven, it's over there, German company audited it, so you can trust it. And then, once the deal is over, that money is transferred to the central exchange wallet. So, you sell the USDT and buy your local currency and withdraw it to your local bank account. So no escape. I mean, it's safe.
Correct.
And so when we explain it like that, then they're okay. So I understand. Yeah. So it takes some time, and also I just want to talk a little bit about our financing solutions. So
Yes,
we have
please.
a crowdfunding system. So we enable crypto investors, I mean Exim token investors, to stake their Exim tokens and we build funds around them. And right now we have seasonal funds. For example, we are in the winter fund now, a 90-day winter fund. It's gonna end in the end of March, 21st of March. So then we will come to the spring fund. So crypto investors, they can stake their Exim tokens in those 3-month funds. And with that money, we fund both the sellers, I mean the exporters, and also we fund the buyers, the importers, of course, with some conditions,
Of
whatever.
course, of course.
So this is, I believe this is a very cool solution because this is completely decentralized, right? So people, common people, investing in Exim token, this can be a doctor, this can be a lawyer, this can be an engineer, I don't know, teacher, whoever, common people,
anybody.
they can invest, they can stake their Exim token in the pool, so they fund those small to medium size enterprises around the world, right? So, for example, somebody in Mexico can fund a business deal, I don't know, between Nigeria and Pakistan, for example. Yeah, so and this is completely decentralized. So it's a very cool thing. We love it for that reason. So we believe this is a very good decentralized example of using blockchain technology, solving real world problems. This is why we are so excited about our project.
No, these are some fascinating ways. The way you described everything in the last couple of minutes, I mean, if you don't understand it, then we gotta go to work. We gotta go do some fundamental work. But very easy to understand, very real examples from your experience. So thank you for that. One thing I would want you to maybe elaborate a little bit more on is the staking itself. There are a lot of people that have heard this term but don't exactly understand what it is. And when you say seasonal funds, I think it's important for there are people in the audience that could be the examples of your doctors and teachers and workers who are willing to participate because there is a benefit for them, because they're providing a benefit for other people. Can you explain how this works and what are the benefits to all parties involved? So obviously you as the facilitator of this, then people trading on one end, and people who are basically investing. They put in their funds into the token and then put in the token, and if I'm not mistaken, right, locking it in for a certain period of time so that you can do things with it, borrow it, lend it to the audience, and the whole ecosystem thrives. In your own words, please, tell us a little bit more about that, the solution.
Sure. Thank you. So, like you very rightfully said, there are 3 actors in that situation. CoiMex in the middle, of course, the investors, the crypto investors, Exim token investors, and the importer-exporter companies, right? So we have 3 types of actors. So let me explain. So let me start with the crypto investor. Okay, so first of all, staking means, like you said, locking in your crypto asset in this example, Exim token, and we have those seasonal 3-month, basically a 90-day pools, so they can consider it as a fund, as a pool. So they put their Exim token in the pool, they lock it in. So during that period, they cannot withdraw it. So once that's in, that the money is in, it stays in for 90 days. Okay, so and the deal for the investor is, first of all, we protect them with a guarantee. I mean, minimum return guarantee. So at the time being, it's 3.3% for 90 days in terms of Exim token. So 3.3% of the invested Exim token. If you invest 1,000 Exim tokens, it becomes minimum 1,033 Exim tokens at the end of the 90-day period, right? So this is the guaranteed amount. But last time, our previous call ended with a 6.6 yield. So we doubled what we guaranteed. Yeah. So, but there is a guarantee. So you don't lose your Exim tokens. Okay. So especially if you're a long-term investor, for example, you like our project, you say, wow, Exim is a cool project. So we invest in Exim. I'm not a day trader. I'm not a swing trader. I'm a long-term investor. Okay. I'm going to buy Exim today. Exim is relatively very affordable right now. I believe in 1 year time, 2 years time, Exim is going to go crazy, which we also believe. So I'm going to lock in my Exim tokens. Instead of keeping it in my wallet, I put it so I can get some money and I can help the importer-exporter community.
Yeah.
Well, this is the perspective of the investor, right? So once again, for day traders, that's not something they will use.
Yeah, right? But let them trade, right? We're talking about more fundamental. Trade, We're talking about real business here. So day traders, let them trade Bitcoin.
Absolutely. So if you are somebody like I said, like a lawyer, dentist, whatever, right? I mean, an engineer, probably you don't have too much time staying in front of the screen, trade all the time. You review the project, you like it, you see a future in this project, you say, okay, I'm going to buy Exim. I put it in these staking programs, maybe in cycles. I mean, 90 days, then another 90 days, another 90 days, whatever, right? So maybe in between, you can buy and sell some of our commodity tokens. That's also possible.
Correct.
So if you are this kind of crypto investors, this is the benefit for you, right? So now moving on to the importer-exporter side. So for them, this is a financing solution, right? So what are their alternatives? I mean, they can go for an export credit. They can go for an import credit from a bank, from another financial institution. They need funds, right? They need running capital for their business. So if they use this solution, this is a much faster solution. I mean, if you, let's say, if you apply for a credit, I mean, how long does it take? Weeks. I mean, 3, 4, 6, right?
Yeah,
so
it could take a while.
It can take a while. In many cases, I mean, it's happening, in front of us, in front of our eyes. They lose the business. For example, fresh produce. Let's say avocado business. It has a season, right? The season is like, for example, 10 weeks. So you sell it in these 10 weeks or not. That's it. Or you buy it in those 10 weeks. That's it. Apply for a credit, takes 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you lose the opportunity. Right? So our solution is fast. I mean, you apply 2 days, you're ready. And when it comes to costs, it's much more affordable than traditional financing solutions. So, and number 3, in some of the less developed countries, it's very hard to access to finances, right? So whether you have some banks, whatever, or other financial institutes, it's hard to access it. So this democratizes the financial access for those small to medium sized enterprises. And as I said in the beginning of this question, so by enabling people, common people, helping common people, is a super cool thing. It's democratizing trade, and it's a great example of a decentralized finance, like a DeFi solution.
Correct. Yeah, that's effectively people who have the, let's call it, excess funds, excess money, extra money that they've saved or what have you, have earned. They put it into your system. They get the benefit of getting additional tokens. we also keep in mind that when the price of the token rises, you not only getting the benefit of more tokens, but more value per token. So that's an added benefit. I mean, it works both ways, but we're talking about the positive scenario here. And then those funds that you are a guardian of, that you utilize smart contracts that are like programs that are designed to follow rules. And once they're launched, you cannot change the rules. So for those of you that
That's
don't
correct.
fully understand out there what smart contracts are, got to start doing that diligence and work too. So the smart contract will behave exactly according to the rules that are set. They're, like you said, they're audited by external parties. They're written on a programming language that is designed to keep things safe and secure. And then the people in all of these different countries that are passionate about the trade, that are looking to facilitate the logistics and supply chain, etc., they have not exactly the immediate, but compared to the traditional sources, nearly instant access to the funds that they put to work immediately. They're not looking to take that money to go and buy a Ferrari. They're going to literally, they're gonna buy avocados, then import them or export them, and those avocados are going to be at the end of the day in somebody's stomach, on somebody's plate. So
That's correct. And this is all regulated
yeah.
by an independent party like us. I mean, CoiMex as an international neutral. I mean, we don't protect only the buyer. We don't protect only the seller. We protect everyone. So this is all regulated by a party like CoiMex company.
Yeah. See, that's why the future is what we're talking about here. More and more, I personally believe that more and more companies in the traditional business are going to adopt Web3, blockchain mechanics of different kinds, smart contracts, and things of that nature, because it just makes sense. Anywhere you look, on multiple occasions today, you've already quoted the expedition, meaning the faster services. And in the world that we live in, especially with finite life, a shelf life of certain products, speed is money, and quality of the service and lifeblood of a business. So it's, to me, all of this stuff is fascinating, and I keep asking myself a question: how come not more companies and people are aware of this or using this? But I guess this is our purpose here today. We're speaking about this, and the examples that you're using, I hope they're so easy to understand and relate to, because for me, I'm not some sort of brainiac, but it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Onur, you recently participated in like a smaller size RWA panel. There was other companies that were also in the segment that are actively using blockchain technologies to integrate them into their businesses. Tell us a little bit about what the experience was like. Any interesting macro comments or examples out there that people should just become aware of.
Yeah, thank you, Sergey. So since we launched Exim Token in August, in summertime, so we are trying to build more and more partnerships with other RWA projects. We want to grow the RWA space in general. Yeah, so RWA space is touching several industries. I mean, it can be real estate. It can be, I don't know. We have, for example, a very nice project in the woods business, like growing trees and things like that. In tourism business, in many different industries, right? So diamonds, for example, we have a partnership with a diamond tokenization company.
Okay.
Minerals, whatever, right? So we all share the same understanding. I mean, when I answered the previous question, what's the benefit for the crypto investor? And we said RWA is a lower risk crypto asset compared to highly volatile other assets like Bitcoin or other coins. So this is true for almost all RWA projects, right? So and there are a lot of reports. All big companies, very large institutions, very large companies. They invest a lot of money in the future of RWA, and they prepare reports sharing the RWA space will keep growing and growing, and it's the next one of the next big things. I mean, for me, along with AI, for example, I think AI will go crazy too, but RWA is also something like that. I think it's the one of the biggest future topics in the blockchain and Web3 space. Yeah. So in the panel, coming back to the panel, this is the core thing we share. So like a lower risk investment opportunity for crypto investors, and regulations are a super common topic because every tokenization industry or domain has its own needs for regulations.
Correct.
Right? So we are in the food commodity tokenization space, but somebody else is in a real estate tokenization space. Somebody else is in a valuable mineral tokenization space. So each industry, each space has its own set of regulations, and everybody wants. I mean, all of these RWA projects, we want more regulations because the more it's regulated, it's safer. You can reach to a larger audience. So we want it. I mean, we want to be more regulated, and it's coming up in every industry.
It's happening, right?
It's happening. Yeah, it's becoming more and more regulated. So that's a common theme. One of the other common themes, I guess. Another thing is for the crypto investors, the liquidity aspect and the opportunity to surf, quote unquote, between RWA tokens. So, and also you can surf also between the bull and bear market of the other crypto assets like Bitcoin, for example. If you are such an investor, if you know, I mean, you of course, as an investor, you must know what you're investing in. If you know the cycles, if you can catch the cycles of your assets, for example, during the bear market, you can move to RWA assets, or for example, I told you each food commodity, for example, has its own harvest period, right? So it has a cycle. In the after harvest, it's very affordable. Then it makes a peak, and then maybe it goes a little stable. So if you know all of these cycles from one token, I mean RWA token, to another one, you can jump, you can move, you can take the return and jump into another. So, and in between, for example, from a food RWA token, you can jump into a real estate RWA token. From there, you can jump into another token. And in between, maybe you catch the opportunity with Bitcoin. In a short while, you take some, profit from Bitcoin. This gives you that kind of opportunity. So this is also a common understanding between different RWA projects. So these are the things we share in these panels. And one of our dreams is to organize a summit, RWA summit, hopefully, firstly, an online one. And then later on, maybe a physical face-to-face RWA summit. That's what we are dreaming for. I hope it's going to happen soon.
Right. I think that's a great initiative, and I personally will do what we can as our platform. It's our job to also add and increase trust to the entire Web3 space. So it's in our interest to highlight projects that are doing innovative things, taking the risk, and doing the painful work of being early adopters and the pioneers and the innovators, because it's not always rewarding at the beginning, right? You're doing all the heavy lifting, but then the industry starts to get the expansion phase and the scale and the growth phase, and everybody benefits, including those projects that have started this. So we'll absolutely support this. I'm even thinking we're going to be in Turkey in July at the expo, the expo in Istanbul. So even around that event in the summer, we should think about organizing at the very minimum an RWA panel, an extended one, or maybe even a summit, because it's a multiple day event. I think would be of much interest to the local and global audiences.
Yes.
So we'll
absolutely. Why not? Why not? Maybe a side summit.
Correct.
Not on the main stage, but on the side stage, for example. Why not? Yes.
Yeah, and it is a government sanctioned event, so you don't have a bunch of these meme coins and then projects that don't really have any value. So there is a different type of feel and crowd and attendance to it, from companies to the audience perspective. I think it will be a perfect time to prepare from the online to the offline event, just like that.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
And that's actually an open invitation to people out there already to plan ahead. It's July 2nd through July 5th in Istanbul, in Turkey. Onur, you're in Turkey right now, correct?
Correct. Istanbul. I'm in Istanbul. Yes.
You're in Istanbul, so it's in your backyard. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. When you think about the future of what you're doing as an industry, but also from a perspective of you as a business, what's your vision of CoiMex and any developments relevant to it in the next let's say 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, thank you. So all right, so first of all, we believe as we discussed, the blockchain part of it will be mainstream. It will become more and more popular, and more SMBs and bigger companies, they will utilize blockchain solutions and crypto payments in the international trade. So as CoiMex and Exim Token, we want to take a meaningful portion of this, and we are positioning Exim Token as the standard crypto asset in the international trade business. So even the name, why we named it as Exim comes from export import. So the name of the token comes from there. So we our vision is Exim is the Bitcoin of international trade. So that's where we are trying to take Exim Token to. And so when you consider the market size, the market cap, if you think about the world economy, 1/3 of world economy is international trade. 1/3.
Yep.
So it's every $100, $33 is international trade in the world. So so technically, ideally, the market cap of the international trade crypto market can be 1/3 of the overall crypto market cap. So this can go crazy large, right? So we want to take, as CoiMex and Exim Token, like I told you, a big portion of this. And also when it comes to our members, importer-exporter members, so we are operating in 108 countries now. We want to become fully global. All major countries around the world. And also we would like to add more industries beyond, food industry. We want to add textile, chemicals, furnitures.
Makes sense.
Yeah, more industries. And that's it. Maybe, I don't know. Personally, maybe now is the time to make an exit. Maybe in a few years, maybe 5 years time. Maybe some large enterprise. Who knows? Maybe Amazon. Who knows? Maybe Alibaba. Maybe a big bank. Maybe a big freight, ocean freight company might be interested in buying, CoiMex in general. So that might be, future excitement for us.
And there's in my background, I worked for an investment bank for a long time, so dealt with all kinds of interesting projects, saw all kinds of interesting companies, and in the capital markets, there is a kind of like unspoken, I guess, wisdom where if you build a company to sell it, you're probably going to have a hard time doing that. But if you build a company to run it, just like you guys are doing, like you built it because you built it to run it. You're not looking for
Yes.
a quick out, but you're also smart enough, intelligent enough, and you have the experience to understand that this gets big. It is logical that somebody will buy an operator. An operator meaning everything is set up, the processes are going, the clients are participating, the blockchain side of things is, there's liquidity, it's actionable, it's, in high demand. You're buying an operation that is going to live on for many, many years. That's what affects multiples on a transaction and the purchase price. That's where the buyer can be like, I can project into the future for the next 10, 15, 20 years that this is going to earn me every year cash flow this much, this much, this much. So when you say it, I wouldn't be surprised if later down the road you guys haven't built a scalable operation that churns a certain amount of cash every year in seasons, but you also diversify it with other projects and products, that could be the case. And it would be funny to look back at this podcast where we mentioned it in February of 2025, a couple of years later down the road, and it actually happens. So
Everything starts with a dream. So dream it,
absolutely,
it happens, right? So here's our
absolutely.
dream.
Onur, as we approach the final minutes here of our session today and our podcast, anything that you would like to bring up from yourself, any remarks, anything in regards to where people can find you, your social media, etc. Anything you want to mention here? This is a great time.
Thank you. So let me start from there. So we are active very much on Telegram. So we have a nice Telegram group. We have the global group, which is in English. We have a local, Turkish group, which is in Turkish. And we are planning, as we have more, local languages in our, global English speaking community, we might open up smaller, Telegram
Awesome.
groups for in local languages. So that's number one. X, or former Twitter, of course, that's our main social media for the crypto side. CoiMex Global, we use CoiMex Global account for that. And for the Web2 side of the business, we mostly use LinkedIn, Facebook, interestingly, Instagram. Our YouTube channel is very much active. They can watch our previous sessions. They can watch some of the recorded panels on our YouTube channel. Our websites are over there. CoiMex.co is CoiMex's website. EximToken.co is Exim Token's website. So those are the channels where they can find us. And as a final word, first of all, thank you, Sergey, for inviting us, for helping us with this. We appreciate it a lot. And as a final word, for people who are a little bit skeptical about the crypto space, the blockchain space in general, I think RWA domain in general, not only us but any other RWA project, of course, a verified strong RWA project, of course, do your own research here, is a good starting point, I think. So it's like a lower risk entry point for people who are new to this domain. So they can check it out. They can check out other RWA projects in general. That's what I would say.
Onur, thank you very much for your remarks. Thank you for the fantastic explanations and examples. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. I hope our viewers and listeners have and I know, I don't hope, I know benefited significantly from a much clearer and better understanding of real world assets as a class within blockchain and crypto and the overall market, and also how interesting and attractive your specific case is from a traditional perspective, but also from a blockchain and crypto perspective. So anybody out there that is looking for projects to invest in, and also just potentially participate as a businessman, right? As a business, on the business side of things, please reach out to Onur. If you need to contact me, I'm more than happy to get you in touch with Onur, but you can easily find them on all the channels that he mentioned. So to all of our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for your time and attention. And please follow us on our channels. And there will be a lot more episodes coming out with more use cases like this. Thank you. And until next time, goodbye.